Oh, hello. I just realized I am looking on the entirely wrong screen, people. This is a weekly occurrence, right? No, not weekly, monthly. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Guild Chat Live, where I come on here and talk to you about all the things. Who is I? No, that's not a word. Okay, so let me start over. So, welcome to the Guild Chat Live. It is the what is this? Second Friday, second first Friday of the year. So February, right? February 2nd. Well, a little bit of a tongue twister, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, so we are going to be diving into creativity on our live broadcast that we have on the first Friday of every month. And I'm super duper excited because, like I said, month number 2, and we are killing it over here. I don't know about you, but I surely am. But I hope you are too. So you get to enjoy the insider graphic news, buzzworthy discussions, clever hacks and solutions, and exclusive event previews and interviews from some amazing people. And today I have amazing people for you. But before I do that, again, my name is Yanique DaCosta. And I am the president of the Graphic Artists Guild. And if you don't know what the Graphic Artists Guild is, you are in the right place. Although I think it would be weird if you got here and didn't know who we are. Maybe you don't really know, but you're like, I know the name. So we are a member-based trade association that is focused on promoting and protecting our members' interests in the creative industry. So if you are a graphic designer, an illustrator, a web developer, or a student, trying to figure out how to become one of those things in like a professional way, we offer resources to help build a successful career. And as a member, you enjoy advocacy, education, and business resources like the Pricing and Ethical Guidelines Handbook. And I slowed down on that one because I have some more news for you in a bit. So keep on hanging on, stay in the mix so I can tell you all the things. Now, we give you guys news, articles, webinars, and events so you can network with your peers, join online forums, and serve in leadership roles like me. So you can shape the future of the industry, right? So you also benefit from professional discounts, grievance assistance, and contract review. So we offer various memberships. So that's from professional, student, retired professionals, because sometimes you've just been in the mix so long, but you're like, I still want to be in the mix, but like you're not a newbie. So we, you guys get a little bit of, we give you a little bit of, a break just because like we think y'all are cool. Anywho, join the Graphic Artists Guild today and be a part of a supportive community working together to better your life. Less stressful, more profitable, creative journey, right? That's my vibe. That's how I feel about it. So today, I have a guest for you. Super, 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 super excited to chat with her. She's actually she's our board advisor. So she's the board advisor to the Graphic Artists Guild. She is a IP lawyer, which I love because. So I told her I was going to show you guys this, but like, look. This is my envelope from her, but I'll tell you more about that later, guys. But it's super, super, super exciting. In any case, before I dive too much into our guest, Michele, right? I want to tell you a little bit about our handbook and some things that we have going on. So you guys are like the beautiful creators out there, the visionaries, the artists tuning in. I know. So right now, it's that magical moment, the moment that you've all been waiting for. And it's kind of like the stampede to the 17th edition of the ever so essential Pricing and Ethical Guidelines Handbook. Yes, my friends, it's your time to shine, to voice your experiences, your challenges, and your victories in the world of graphic arts. So we're rolling out the red carpet. I'm going to just put this up here. Rolling out the red carpet for you guys so that you can contribute your treasure trove of wisdom. Like, this isn't just a guide. It's like a Bible for our creative community, crafted from the ground up by your insights and your feedback, and yes, your unique stories. So what does that mean? There's a survey. The survey gathers all the information about what it is that all of us around the country are charging for different things. what we're charging, how we're building it. Like, are we doing late fees? Are we doing revise? Are we do whatever it is that we're doing, right? In our individual silos. This survey is going to aggregate all that data and put it in one place so that we can all benefit and learn from each other, right? So why should you dive into this survey? Well, because number one, where your voice echoes in the halls of creativity, ensuring like fairness and transparency and the sweet, sweet knowledge of what's what in the graphic artists industry, right? So imagine peeking into like the strategies of your fellow artists, understanding the ins and outs of their pricing, their contracts, and the cherry on top, right? Those who are practicing, right, get to catapult their career into a completely different stratosphere because we also have some little giveaways happening, right? So just generally because we adore you and your dedication, and like each of you are like bright shining stars, right? Completing the survey gets you a golden ticket, a chance to snag an entire year of an Adobe Creative Suite. Yes, you heard that right. $700 in value, a prize waiting to be unlocked. So you can dive into the new realms and all the fun things. So if you are ready to make history with us, just go ahead and scan that QR code there. It is at the bottom of the screen, right? And let your voice be heard. This is more than a survey, right? It's a statement that we as a community stand together, unite in creativity and innovation and ethical practice, and want to continue to elevate all of us. Am I being a little dramatic today? Because you guys are not talking to me, and I don't know what to do with that. Okay. I tell you guys all the time, you cannot let me come on here and talk to myself because it will get weird. Okay. It gets weird if you don't talk to me. Anyway, so thank you in advance for taking that survey and for sharing your thoughts, visions, information, strategies with all of us. And move my microphone over here because I have a puppy, guys. His name is Scout. And Scout has decided that he's going to be really noisy today. He was like, oh, she has a microphone? I'm going to bark away. Anywho, so that's just my side of the world. Do you guys have coworkers at home too that are like super loud? Because my coworker is a little crazy. So now on to the good part of the day, right? Where you guys don't have to listen to me talk as much, but I have an amazing, amazing guest coming to the stage, right? I don't even know if I can introduce her as well as she could probably introduce herself, but I'll try my best. So Michele Berdinis is a superstar, rock star lawyer. Well, she just finished doing like registering my trademark for me. Like, look at this. This is how it comes. So it comes in this folder, right? First of all, look at the metallic, right? Branding. If you want someone who appreciates branding, this is the girl, right? And it comes and I get it, and it has like a little seal, and like, look at this. This is amazing. I haven't opened it yet because I'm ridiculous. I wanted to save it to open it with you guys so that you guys can kind of see, like, look how nice this is. I'm not gonna pull it out because you guys are nosy. You guys don't get to be in my business, but like, look at this. Look at this. So without further ado, welcome to the stage. Oh my goodness, wait, apparently my mouse isn't working. Now it is. Michele!
Hey, Yanique.
Hi, Michele! So we were talking earlier, right? And I feel like you have to tell people the story of like this branding and this packaging and like how it came to life, because I feel like even before we start talking about the legal stuff, they need to know, they need to hear, they need to all the things.
Right. So when you're a trademark lawyer, you have to you're into branding. Like, that's like a thing. I'm not into it like the way, I mean, you guys are kind of psycho into it, but like, I'm really into it. So I got that whole packaging thing. Like, I had that before I launched the business. I reached out to the people who were doing my graphic design and everything. And I said, because my business is so much online, there's no real personal touch with my clients. There's only one point where there's anything physical that goes between us. And that's when I deliver your registration certificate. And I said, so put together like a package of items that makes it feel like they're opening a present, like that makes it feel like this is something special. And look what we've accomplished together. So that's what they put together. And I think they did like a fantastic job with it. It's really fun to wrap everything up and put it together.
It's fun to get it. Oh my goodness.
That's good. Yeah.
Like, I remember the first time I saw your branding, I think, I want to say it was 2018, maybe. That might even be too early. And I was like, oh, this is really impressive. I was like this is nice. I was like, she really knows her target audience, huh? Because I mean, sometimes we kind of get caught up like in like the look of things, and we're just like, we're not going into that restaurant again because I redesigned the menu in my head 10,000 times. We're not going, which is amazing. So right. All right. Yeah. Tell the people a little bit about your background.
Sure. So I'm an attorney, obviously. I started off as an attorney 30 years ago. And for 20 years, I was with a firm, and I represented startups from formation through everything, did all their contracts, their private placements of securities, mergers and acquisitions, as well as my IP practice was all a part of that. And then my kids graduated from college, and I stopped hemorrhaging tuition, and life changed. So I left my firm and started Beeline, which is now I would say trademark and copyright used to be about 15% of my practice, and now it's more like 95% of my practice. So it's very much concentrated on that because it's like my favorite. It's so much fun. I mean, you talk about like seeing a menu and like redesigning the whole thing in your head. My phone, like if you looked at the pictures on my phone, there's no pictures, there's no selfies, there's no pictures of me and friends. There's just pictures of trademarks. Like that's all there are. As I walk around New York City, this is where I live, I take pictures of trademarks and then I rate them. I have a whole series called Your Trademark Sucks. And I rate them on a B rating, right? So they get like 1 to 5 Bs. And then I explain like why I think they're good or bad or indifferent.
No, listen, we are connected on LinkedIn because I love you. But like I also like love your content, right? Like your content is also like very reflective of like you and your personality. And
it is.
I know. So I feel like we know what you do, but like, let's talk about some things that are like happening today, like outside in the world. Everybody has an opinion about AI, good, bad, and different, or the other. You actually did some webinar. No, you did. Yeah. Did you do 1 or 2 AI webinars for us? Was it 1?
I think I just did 1.
Okay.
I've done a lot of AI webinars in the last year, so it's hard to remember, but yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah. Trust me, we've produced quite a bit, so I believe that. And guys, if you want to check out the webinar, you can actually head over to the graphicartistguild.org and check that out. It's in the webinar archives. If you're a member, the webinar archives are free for you 365 days a year. If you're not, it's a small fee, just to kind of help us, continue to bring great content to you guys. But go ahead and check it out. Now, back to brass tacks. What's happening in AI world right now that we all need to be paying attention to?
Yeah, so there were the earlier lawsuits that were filed by the artists, and then another one by some writers, and then Getty Images filed one. But the latest lawsuit that was filed, I think the first week of January, is by the New York Times, and it is. I mean, it reads like a mystery novel. It is so cool. So the main claim of all the lawsuits to date were that different AI engines, they had there's a training data set, right? So how do you create AI? You give it a whole bunch of information and you say, here, look at this, and then create this, right? That's how it works. And so that training data set, that's what all the lawsuits have been based on so far, right? It's been saying, you used my writing, you used my art, you used my creations to train your AI engine, and that is copyright infringement. And we don't really know the answer to that question right now, right? That none of those cases have proceeded far enough to say. We do know for sure that when you use generative AI to create something, nobody owns it. That we know 100% sure. But we don't know yet whether using somebody's work as part of the training data set is copyright infringement. But the New York Times has that, and then they go on. And the stuff that is in their complaint is unbelievable. There's a image on the complaint where somebody said, I'm having trouble getting through the New York Times paywall. Can you give me the first 3 paragraphs of this story? And AI says, sure, here you go.
Oh no.
And this is OpenAI, right? So that's the company that they're suing. And then in another case, they asked the question, New York Times asked the question, can you please, I want an article, write me an article about this topic. And the AI produced an article, which they show them like up against each other, paragraph after paragraph. It is a direct copy of the New York Times. And then like a word here or there has been changed. So clear copyright infringement, which is huge. And then the biggest one, which just blew me away because now we have trademark infringement as well as copyright infringement. There were instances where they said, I've been reading about blah, blah, blah. Did the New York Times write an article about blah, blah, blah? And then it would go on to say, here's the New York Times article, blah, 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 blah. And it was a hallucination.
Oh, that's a regular thing.
I mean, the thing they were writing about like was fake. It wasn't real. It was garbage, right? And so they said, here's a New York Times article, and they have like the New York Times trademark on there and everything else. And that's really scary, right? I mean, it's one thing. It made up an article and attributed it to the New York Times.
Well, so I know it does this thing where like it makes up articles, but like it wrote the article and said that New York Times wrote it.
Yep.
That's wild.
Right. So now, like, you know, if you're a person who trusts mainstream media, you're like, oh my God, well, this must be true because look, there it is in the New York Times. And no, it's not.
And I know they have this little disclaimer where it says company name can make mistakes. Consider checking for important information. And so even in that, so they're having this conversation like, and we talk about how to use AI ethically, right? Like how to use it to like help us as creatives versus replacing creatives or thinking that like we can just go and I don't know, do a thing and have it create a thing, right? Without any kind of like human oversight. But like, what does this lawsuit kind of mean for us as graphic artists?
Right. So I think what it means is this is great. If you want to create a piece of software, a tool that is going to help people, maybe don't steal everything. Right? It's like, it's as though Uber's pretend Uber set itself up and this is what it's going to do. But instead of having people drive their own cars, their drivers just go out and steal a car and then give you a ride. That's not a business plan. That's a criminal conspiracy. I mean,
I feel like it gets to the point where things are and it's a very serious topic, a very serious situation, but like the things just seem unfathomable. It's like, how does this even seem like it makes sense to people? Like, I I was having a conversation with a client yesterday, and she was talking about how there are very specific, tries not to throw too many stones, government organizations that their databases have not been updated to include very specific kinds of professions. And things within the graphic design space would definitely, or not even, but like illustrators, cartoonists would definitely fall into that category, because people are like, yeah, I go to Target and I buy this shirt and it's really pretty, but like, Target makes that. No, not a lot of times, like the artwork is licensed and then reproduced and someone makes some money and so on and so forth. And so it's a very different experience that a lot of people don't understand, but the government also has not incorporated in, or gotten themselves familiar enough with the industries and how the industries are evolving in order to help protect the rights of the humans being affected by all the technological advancements. And I think that's actually one of the bigger issues. So even when we as creatives are like lobbying and having conversations, our biggest battle is explaining to people that no, this is really how I make a living. They're like, wait, what? People make money that way?
Right. Yeah.
Really? And it can't, and it's hard to lock your head around it.
I know, but it's what you guys do is like so incredibly important. Right? Okay, so here's this is my logo, right? Did I come up with this? No. I'm a lawyer, right? No. I had a marketing company. They used to be a client of mine. They're great people. They came up with the B, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I wear this, like if I go to networking and stuff and I wear this, people don't remember this. Yeah. They remember this. Like they go, oh, right, that's right. You're that lady that has the B on it, right? And it's like, there's a reason that we have protection for copyright and trademark. There's a reason for it. It's because they're valuable. And if people are creating valuable things, then people need to be paid for it. And I mean, the Getty lawsuit, they used millions, literally millions of Getty images to train up their AI. And Getty actually has a license. You can buy a specific license just to use their images to train AI. But of course, they didn't buy that license, right? Because if they did, that would somehow create an expectation that was required, right? So they just didn't do it. And it's like, where do you think those images came from? I mean, there's photographers, right? There are people out there who take photographs. Getty buys them from those people or, hires them to take those images. And then that's what Getty's business is to license those things. Yeah. And if you're just stealing just isn't a business plan. I'm sorry. If they really, I mean, it's not to say that AI, it's not a bad thing inherently, but it's the way that it has been put together is just flat out stealing. And they need to pay for what they're using, and they need to allow people the opportunity to say, I don't want to be a part of your training data set. Like that needs to be a part of it. And that's not how it's working. And it's obviously, right, they can't say they didn't use the New York Times as part of the training data set. They're just spitting out entire articles written by the Times. I just love I'm having trouble getting through the New York Times paywall. Will you please give me
that one was honestly crazy.
It's so blatant.
So, okay. I want to give people like an opportunity to ask questions. Like, I want to give you guys like 1 minute, like drop some stuff that you want to ask Michele in the chat. And I mean, if you guys don't talk today, like we're going to have a problem. So drop some questions in the chat. Anything, because this is stuff like you currently have access to a professional who can answer the questions. I am not a lawyer, okay? I can hypothesize as much as I want, but you know what? When I want the real information, I call Michele. But you know, you guys don't have her like me. So I'm giving you guys a little sneak peek right now. So just,
Yeah,
you
it's a really interesting moment in time for trademark. Well, I guess there's many, but this one is really, really huge. And the world of trademark is blowing up too. I'll just keep talking until somebody asks me a question.
listen, I don't think they're asking questions today. It's
okay.
fine. I just
The
realized like
ability-
we're not even talking today, which
Yeah, so I mean I don't know if anybody was following along, but there's a musical group called the Slants, and they're an Asian rock group. And the front man is a guy named Simon Tam, and they tried to register the Slants as a trademark, and they were refused because at the time the trademark office would not register a disparaging trademark. Right, that was how the Redskins, the football team in Washington, D.C., that's how they were in danger of losing their trademark registration. And so Simon Tam said, that's unconstitutional. That's an infringement on my rights of free speech, and won at the U.S. Supreme Court. And I mean, I went down to DC just to go hear oral argument because I can't remember the last time there was a major trademark case before the Supreme Court. So we got rid of that. And they also then got rid of your ability to get a registration for naughty words.
Okay.
And so now I keep a little spreadsheet on the number of applications for the word fuck.
That's a thing.
Oh yeah, and other words as well. Like I'm just looking.
Clearly, but okay, all right. And
So
on
far,
that note, you had her. Now she's gone. But where can people find you if they want to chat with you some more?
Yeah, so my website is beelinelegal.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn. I am the only Michele Berdinis in the world, so I'm pretty easy to find. And I'm on all the social media. So if you look for Beeline, and you know this will be somewhere in the logo for the account. I'm all over there. I'm all in Instagram. I don't know what my handles are. But yeah, Instagram and Twitter. I'm just going to keep calling it Twitter.
I actually have a question that I think is actually really cool. It is our first and only question for today. So Ed Fred Ned, hey, said that he was reading about DC Comics preparing for Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman entering public domain in the next bunch of years. Can you talk about how they plan to use their trademark protections?
Right. So copyright expires. Trademark does not. Right. So we just dealt with this with the mouse. Right. Everybody's like, oh, I can use the mouse. No, you can't use the mouse. And no, you can't use Superman. And no, you can't use them to sell stuff. Right. So their copyright, right. You can use the video of Steamship Willie. That's what fell out of copyright, right? That is copyright for that clip is now out of copyright. But you can't use the mouse because Disney still owns probably hundreds of trademark registrations for the mouse. So you can't use that mouse to sell stuff. You can't, period. And it's going to be the same with the various superhero characters, Marvel and DC, and I mean, whatever ones are eventually going to fall out of copyright. But so that might mean you could take an early issue of the comic book and you could make copies of it and sell it. But you're not going to be able to make movies using those characters. You're not going to be able to write your own comic books using those characters or using the word Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman. You're not going to be able to do that because the trademark rights will stay. Trademark rights, I just wrote a blog post that's going to come out later this year about really old trademarks. There's a trademark in Japan that has been around for thousands of years, right? The I don't even know how to pronounce it right. Zildjian, the cymbal company,
Okay.
right? Start Zildjan, I think it's spelled. Hundreds of years, right? Trademarks don't expire. They don't go away. They die when you stop using them. Other than that, they're forever. And that's what's really cool. So yeah, good question. Yeah, it's a good question, but is a really, just because copyright expired doesn't mean trademark goes away.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Oh, you know what? There was a follow-up.
Okay.
But you can use his character from Steamboat and use him on non-commercial work. Question mark.
Yeah, ish. I mean, non-commercial work. I don't know what that means.
So work that you're not selling.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I know what it means, but it's like people get slippery with words like that. I have seen, you could always use the mouse for parody, right? So you can always, that was always permitted. And I've been watching how people are using it now. And mostly I've just seen people creating parody, which would have been fine even before Steamship Willie. And you have to be really careful because Steamship Willie was in black and white. Steamship Willie, there is no image of him of the mouse in that little video where he's wearing gloves. So no mouse with gloves. So you have to be really careful even in that context, because there's lots of other images of the mouse that have not fallen out of copyright. It's a very touchy thing. As I see different uses, and mostly people send these to me all the time, I'm putting them up on social media and kind of giving my take on this is okay, this is not okay, and kind of that stuff. So yeah, it's a delicate touch. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you and your time and for hanging out with us. And we'll see you again on the flip side. And again, thanks for my package. All right, guys. So we just had a really great conversation, but it's not over because we have more. I'm not a singer. I'm a designer. So just let that go. I have, you just had Michele, right? Now I have another M coming to the stage. We have an amazing guild member and volunteer and just an all-around amazing person. I was going to say something else, but I'll save that for later. And coming to the stage, Michael!
Hello.
Hello, Michael. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Go ahead and tell people about yourself.
Oof. Always a tough part. So I'm Michael, and I work at 54 Below here in New York City. Anything in and around Broadway, I design creative for them, and anything that we may have being produced on Broadway right now. Aside from that, I also am a volunteer and a fellow at the Royal Society of Arts and the Royal Photographic Society in the UK.
I love that. I did not know that about you. Okay, now I learned some things. So why did you become a member of the Graphic Artists Guild?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, there are two big things to me that stood out when I was looking for organizations. The big one, of course, is community. I mean, as designers, I feel like we have such a very unique view of the world but also like it's a very unique kind of a humor almost. I would do a lot of graphic design humor about fonts, and no one else in the office would get it. And I need someone to laugh at my jokes. Uh, but aside from that, it's just a nice artistic community to to be part of, and also at the same time to kind of the number two is to advocate for our causes. So whether that is regarding employment, regarding freelance things, especially now artificial intelligence, and you've just had Michele talk about copyright and trademarks, all of that stuff. I feel like I needed to give back and participate in something to make sure that we are being heard and also getting a fair share of whether that's compensation or whether that's just kind of getting a seat at the table.
I love it. I think a lot of times, and I'm trying not to romanticize the whole thing, because everybody thinks that like their problems are like the ultimate problems, right? Like
Yeah.
we as graphic artists, we're like, we're getting the worst end of the stick. And then the songwriters are like, we're getting the worst end of the stick. And then the photographers are like, we're getting the worst end of the stick. And so we're all kind of just like trying to communicate our needs and our feelings so that we can all, in our own little bubble, live a good standard of like, or have a good standard of living, and just like practice a career, which I'm not even sure if that's a good phrase, but that's what I'm going with. Be a practitioner of a profession that brings us some kind of joy, whether it's financially or emotionally or just from a creative perspective. And then articulating to the world how the joy that it brings me is actually delivering value to them. Because in the midst of my joy in creating, I'm not just creating for creating's sake. And even if I am, there's someone out there who, when they see it, have like a specific emotion or a feeling, or it solves a problem for someone, or someone is entertained or has an experience, or is able to make it through COVID because they were able to turn on their TV and they were able to have this engagement or experience with a book or a visual or a brand or a logo or whatever it is. So I can appreciate that. I can also appreciate the whole just needing someone to like laugh at your jokes with, because there was a time where like I worked in environments where I was the only designer, or I worked in environments where I didn't work in the environment at all. I worked from home. And sometimes you just kind of want to like be able to like have someone you can reach out to, or someone you can text, or someone who also has this access to the same resource and information that you do, so that they can guide you through a thing and do a thing. So I think that's really cool, that you are also are able to gather that experience from being a member. What is if someone said to you, why should I become a member of the Guild? Or you know what, scratch that. I'm thinking about becoming a member of the Guild, but I'm on the fence. What would you say?
I would say that ultimately, you will know exactly what the right decision is for you. But here's what the Guild has to offer. And essentially kind of just lists out the fact that, we are not just, aside from our historical, past regarding advocacy and regarding like, bringing people together, at the same time, the Guild is the one organization you can depend on and you can have as a resource if you have any questions regarding your life as an artist, as a designer. We have a handbook that lists out so many things and so in one place. We have an amazing group of people who dedicate their time to a lot of different things just to make sure that people in our field, in our different fields, I should say, get to have, just to be happy at the end of the day. Not just produce value, but also, make ourselves happy and make everyone else around us happy with whatever they, whether it's a client or, a friend just asking for a favor, that we somehow, be like, yeah, sure, we'll do that for you. And at the end of the day, it's community. That's all it is.
I love that. All right, people, there is a QR code here and here, right? So the one on my left, you scan that if you want to learn more about the guild and learn how to become a member. If you are on the Instagram, all you have to do is comment membership in the live and we will send you the link. But if you're on your desktop and you're watching, just scan the QR code, okay? You know, we had to make it a little easier for our Instagram people because they can't really, if they're on their phone and they try to scan, it doesn't really
It's hard.
Yeah, it gets weird. It gets weird. All right. So thank you. Oh, and again, guys, don't forget, I got my survey up here. Michael just finished telling you guys about the handbook. This is where you get to put your views and thoughts into the handbook. Like, let us know what you've got going on, what dollars and cents you have going into your bank account, so that the next guy over there who's charging half the price can know that, hey, there's a market to up that thing for a different kind of value. Let's get it together. All right. So thank you so much, Michael. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I super duper appreciate you for joining.
Yeah.
Any questions for Michael while we got him? Any questions? Questions, comments, concerns, snide remarks? Anything? I mean, I love your sweater. Very cute.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, I'm in Florida right now with sweater weather. It's 63 degrees and I'm dying.
Why would you do this to me, Yanique? It is 32 here. It is 32.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm not sorry. I started off with sorry, and now you guys remember this. Like, I am a Caribbean girl all day, every day. Okay, I am rainbows, sunshine, and breeze, and a morning swim. So every time I am in any weather that is under 80, I am traumatized. But in any case, again, if you guys want to know more about becoming a member, you can just on Instagram comment member, or if you're on any of the other channels, you go ahead and scan the QR code in the top left-hand corner. And don't forget to add your voice to the survey. Let us know where the money's at. Show me the money. Bye, Michael.
Bye.
All right, guys. So thank you for coming, hanging out with me, but we're not done yet because I need to tell you guys about some of the other things going on, right? So you talk with me here, you hang out with me here, but guess what? You don't have to just hang out with me. You can go hang out with the cool people. So now I have changed the QR code. And what else is up there? That is a link to the Guild event calendar, okay? So you can scan that and get a list of all the events that we have going on. I'm going to run them down with you right now, but you can always scan that. If you're on Instagram, all you have to do is comment event or DM us event or go on any of our posts and comment the word event, and you will get information on our events, if you couldn't tell. All right, so real quick, let me just go down the list of what we got going on. So first and foremost, we got Freelance Fandango coming up this Sunday. That's every Sunday of the week, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's kind of where you just go hang out, build and create things together. Think about it as like your weekly task force to get stuff done, right? Like, what do I have to get done for my clients? But I need an accountability group to make it happen. That's where you would go. Then we have our webinar coming up on February 21st. Is your design career hurting your back? My back. Okay. Learn how to relieve pain and increase creativity. This webinar is a whole different vibe. Like, we always talk about the documents, right? The business, and we talk about the creating, but we don't talk about what it does to us. Health and wellness is important. And this is the place where you can go as a creative to figure out how to put yourself in a better place physically, mentally, and then, inevitably emotionally and financially. That's just how I see it. And then, of course, we have Show Off and Tell February 28th. Show Off and Tell is where you can go and schmooze and connect and show everybody what you have going on. So whether you want feedback or you just want to be look at my stuff. It's so great. So everybody can be like, ooh, that's what you do. That's where you go. Then, of course, we have February 29th, the lone artist. We talked about wanting to build connections. Like, this is where you do that. Like, if you are constantly by yourself, this is the place you go to get support, right? Everybody else, they're just like you. Now they're all connecting in one place. So that is the event rundown. Again, guys, my name is Yanique DaCosta. I am president of the Graphic Artists Guild. I am here to support you. If you ever have any questions, feel free, comment on this post. Trust me, it'll get to me. Or you could just send a DM to the guild. Trust me, someone will tell me. What else? That's it. That's all I got. I will see you right here next month, first Friday of the month, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same great channel, same great time.